You guys asked for it, so here it is, a walkthrough of how I create my thumbnails. So I'm by no means a social media expert when it comes to making thumbnails. In fact, I actually think I kind of suck at it because, I mean, we're only at 440 subs on this channel, but it's slowly growing, so maybe I'm doing something right? I don't know. When it comes to video and photo editing software, I take a bit of a different approach than most other creators out there. Mainly, I stay away from paywall subscription software, namely Adobe. Sorry. I know most other creators out there will swear by Lightroom, Photoshop, Premiere Pro, and After Effects, but those things just aren't for me. It's not that they're actually bad programs to use. In fact, a lot of people use them and like them. Personally, for me, I don't like renting software. If I'm going to create something, I want to own the tools to do what I want to do. Obviously, this is just my opinion, and a lot of other people disagree with it because they pay for a subscription for Adobe. I don't know why, but they do. But in my shoes, it's just easier to hash out $300 for a program that I only have to pay once and I own it and I can use it whenever and however I'd like. And that, in my opinion, is just way better because I don't want to pay $50 in rent every month just to be creative. So with my mini TED Talk out of the way about the software I use and how I use it, let's go ahead and jump into how I create my thumbnails. So I like to use a photo editing software called Affinity Photo. It's basically just a Photoshop alternative that I don't have to pay through the nose monthly to use. It's a one-time payment of $54.99, I think, and you're good to go. And it's pretty powerful, and I'm not even going to claim to be a professional in this software because I don't even know how to use it. I've just started using it over the past year, and it does what I need it to do, and I don't even know if I'm doing things the right way. I'm just kind of figuring things out as I go. So to break down the Fusion Satellite Map Zoom thumbnail that I made, I want to give you guys something that would define what the video is about, both in image and in text. And I think I accomplished that pretty well in this thumbnail. It boiled down to a couple of things. One, how did I want to sum up what my video is in a single image? And as well as what type of text did I want to use? So generally I try to keep my text as minimal as possible. I don't want it too small. I don't want lots of space being taken up. So I just kind of figured it would be easy if I took some images of our satellite screenshots that we did in the last video, and I would just apply a zoom blur to them, and I would just kind of go from there to see what came out. And I actually kind of like the results out of it. So let's take a look at what I actually had. So you can see I had the first satellite screenshot from Google Maps here, and I just kind of threw it in here. And the first thing I did to it is I went ahead and applied a zoom blur, and I just used a mask to paint out the area that I didn't want blurred, and it came out pretty decent. And I went ahead and kind of picked out a more zoomed out image and kind of picked the mountains and just kind of did the same thing and created this like soft gradient between them using just a paintbrush mask here. Nothing too fancy. And then I wanted to also put in a screenshot of the node setup inside of Fusion just to show that this was a Fusion composition. So I just took a screenshot of my node setup inside of Fusion, threw it into the layers, and I just applied a gradient mask on either side of it. So from here, this was my background image. It kind of gives us an idea of what my video is about. It's about a satellite map zoom effect inside of Fusion. So we're portraying a zoom effect from a baseball field to a mountain range and a node setup in the middle. I don't know if this is the right way to do it. No idea. I could be doing this completely wrong. So once I had my image completed, it was time to put the text on top of it. Generally, you just want to pick a font that you like. I like to pick something that stands out, so we just went ahead and went with Fusion Map Zoom. Basic text, nothing too fancy, and it works, I think. And then you'll also notice on the text that I have this gradient from top to bottom here. In fact, I can actually show you guys how to do that. So let's go ahead and disable that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just add in another text box, and I don't know, I'll just leave it right there and we'll just say test. And as you can see, my text is gray. Oh. Switch it, nope. There we go, okay. So we have our test text here, we have our font selected, and we wanna put that gradient on it. So I'll just come over here, grab my gradient tool, and we'll just drag across where we want to apply it. And we can adjust it however we want. I generally don't keep it all the way down on the scale to black, so I'll usually pull it to like a 40% gray. And yeah, that actually looks really good. I might readjust that there. And there you go. That's how you do your gradient with a text. And that's basically the exact same principle I applied for doing the masking on the sides of our Fusion screenshot here too. So nothing super fancy. I mean, it looks okay, I think, but it does the job. So with our entire composite completely basically done here, one extra thing I went ahead and did is apply a LUT. And I actually didn't know Affinity Photo could do this until I Googled it, and I figured it was kind of cool. So I created my own custom LUT inside of DaVinci Resolve, and I exported it into a .cube file, which I then opened it up into Affinity Photo. So if you have a color grade inside of DaVinci Resolve that you really like and you want to use it on your thumbnail, you can take that color grade, export it as a LUT, it'll save as a .cube file, and then you can import it into Affinity Photo, or anything else that can open up LUTs for that matter. So with our basic composition completed, the last thing I am going to do is add a LUT to our image. So I just loaded it in with an adjustment layer, and voila, we get a stylized look to our thumbnail. So LUTs are a pretty cool thing that I had no idea Affinity Photo could do until I actually Googled it out of curiosity. And turns out it's pretty easy. So if you have a color grade inside of DaVinci Resolve that you really like and you're applying it to your video, you can actually export that color grade as a LUT and import it into anything that can open a .cube file. So Affinity Photo is perfectly capable of doing that. In fact, I can show you how to do that right here. You just go to layer, new adjustment layer, and then you're gonna open LUT, and then you just click on load LUT and select the file that you exported. So that is my basic rundown of how I create thumbnails. Like I said, I am no professional when it comes to Affinity Photo. There may be way more efficient ways of doing what I'm doing. I have no idea. I'm just kind of stumbling as I go, but you guys wanted to know how I did it, so this was kind of the breakdown behind the scenes of what is going on. So as always, I hope this video was useful to you and maybe you learned something. I don't know. This is all just kind of like, I'm just fumbling in the dark here. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I feel like I know DaVinci Resolve and Fusion inside and out, but when it comes to other programs and software, I'm just kind of inept, I guess. I don't know. But this is what you guys asked for, so you got it. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later.